Hey guys, today we're doing smoked queso. Now this is our second attempt at doing this video because we filmed it a few weeks ago and the sound didn't come through. It was awesome and we think we have some ways that we want to tweak it this time, but we're gonna go through and kind of make it our own way. You've probably seen people making smoked queso all over the internet. We're gonna kind of do it with our own little bit of flair. And how we're gonna do it is, we've got a few different ingredients here. We've got, obviously, just your regular Velveeta. We picked this up from HEB because, honestly, HEB is the best grocery store in the world, and it's local Texas, so we like to support local Texas stuff. Got some hog meat. So this is spicy breakfast sausage, which really, this just has a little bit more pepper in it, but it's awesome in this queso. So that's Wild-hog. It was, harvested here in Texas. And then it's Hatch Chile season here, so we thought, why don't we add some of this Hatch Chile pork breakfast sausage to our queso. And then we're gonna add a little bit of smoked Gouda, some blended Mexican cheese, and we'll add 2 cups of Rotel. We chose to do, or 2 cans of Rotel. We chose to do it a little bit differently here, where we're gonna have just a couple different varieties. It's honestly not that noticeable. A can of cream of mushroom. We're actually gonna puree these, just so you don't have big chunks. Some people don't like having big chunks of tomatoes and stuff. We're cooking for a big crowd, so we're gonna go ahead and make that just a subtle little add to the queso that should just make it awesome. Then we're gonna throw in a little bit of cream cheese. We didn't do this in our last one, but we're gonna go ahead and add it just for a little bit of extra richness, a little extra flavor. So the first thing we're gonna do is cube up this Velveeta and cube up this smoked Gouda. We'll put it in one of those little barbecue pans that you get from Costco. And then we're gonna brown up our meat. We'll mix that all together, and then we're gonna cook it today on the Yoder Smoker's YS 1500 smoker. We're gonna cook it at about 270. That's gonna let us get a little bit of that smoky flavor, but it's also gonna help us melt that cheese a lot faster. So we'll go in and we'll stir it about once every 10 minutes. I'm expecting this to take anywhere from 40 to 60 minutes. Sometimes it's just kind of variable, so you just gotta play it by ear, but you can sit back, relax, have a beer while you're doing it, no problem. So let's get to cubing this up. We've got the cheese all cubed up, as you guys saw us do. Went ahead and cubed up the Gouda, sprinkled a bunch of that Mexican cheese blend in there. And one thing I forgot to mention is you put your favorite rub in here. We just got back from Florida. My favorite rub, or one of my favorite rubs, is Everglades seasoning. And whenever I'm there and I'm in a grocery store, like a Publix, man, I pick up a couple things of this because it's so much cheaper. And it's amazing. It's just really good. So I like to sprinkle a little bit of my favorite seasoning in here as well. We talked about sitting back and relaxing and having that beer. Well, I thought, why don't we make this into like a beer cheese queso? I mean, you think about it, like we've got all these awesome flavors now. We're gonna have beer, we're gonna have Wild-hog, we're gonna have the Hatch Chilies, cream cheese, all these awesome things. Why don't we add a little bit of beer? So went ahead and got some of the Lone Stars. This is basically their Mexican style cerveza. So I'm gonna pour about a half a can in here and let's just see what happens. I mean, it can't go wrong, right? It's beer. And then obviously now I can just enjoy the rest of it. So, oh, that's good. So what we'll do next is let's go ahead and go over to the stove. We'll brown up the meat. I've got the smoker fired up now, so it should be good and ready to go by the time we've got that meat in. We'll blend it all together. Then we'll puree our soup together with the Rotel. and we'll be ready to throw that thing on the smoker. So let's go get to browning the meat. Let's get to browning this meat. Now what I've done is I went ahead and put some of this smoky mesquite infused olive oil on there. This is going to add a little bit of smokiness to the meat. Not that we're going to need it because we're going to be on the smoker, but it can't hurt to add just a little bit more of that smokiness. So let's go ahead and we'll add this in. Now I got my pan right around a medium heat, and it's going to sizzle a good bit. Just squeeze all that out on there. Oh shit. While our meat's cooking, let's go ahead and puree this stuff together. So I'm just gonna put my 2 cans of Rotel in here, whole thing. Whoa, okay. Ruining my kitchen while I'm doing that. And try it to be a little more ginger this time. And then this in here. Thank you, camera lady. Okay. Wasn't it? Oh yeah. Okay. Okay. That's all we need to do there. Let's take it and pour it into our tray here. That's going to look a little odd at first, and that's fine. Just try to put it in there as evenly as possible. Trust me, this will turn into nice orange queso when this is all done. Shake it around a little, get it even. There we go. All right, now all we need to do is wait for our meat to be done, and then we'll throw it on the smoker. Like that, we're ready to add the meat. So I think the meat took about maybe 10-15 minutes to get browned up. And also we went ahead and added the half block of cream cheese. Sorry we didn't show you guys that. But just add this in here, and I'm going to mix it up a little bit before we put it on the smoker. Okay, we've got the smoker fired up to 275. We're just going to put it on here, and we'll stir it after about 10 minutes. I'm going to put it over on this side. This side tends to run a little bit hotter, so I'll put it over there and just let it ride. Our first 10 minutes are up. It's time to go ahead and stir this up. So we already see we're starting to get some good melting action in here. So we're just going to kind of move it around, stir it up a little bit. So the cheese is starting to break down. It usually takes 30 to 40 minutes. So set the watch for another 10. All right, we're now at 20 minutes. Let's go ahead and stir again. You can see it's slowly but surely melting. You just keep on working it. Expect it'll take 40 to 50 minutes. So yeah, getting some nice pull apart there. It's coming together. So we'll get all that worked around. Straighten that out. All right, time for round 3. It's the end of round 3. Let's go ahead and get a little more stir. Yeah, look at that. Oop. Well, you know, don't get too aggressive with the stir. Get all that smokiness back in there, you know, reincorporate it, get everything nice and melted. This is going to keep on melting. It's good stuff. Whew, that's a lot of smoke. Okay, reset for, this is round 4, 40 minutes now. Okay, we're at about 45 minutes. I had to take a little bit of a break in between, but let's take a look at the queso, give it another stir. Looks like we may need about, I'd give that maybe 5 to 10 more, and then we should be good. Just needs a little more mixing up there, or a little bit more melting, but see how we're seeing that cheese color come through really nicely here. So yeah, just gotta let it go a little while longer. Just get it all nice and incorporated in there. Get that smoke stirred in. Yeah, I'd say that probably needs somewhere in the neighborhood of about 10 more minutes. So let's give it another 10 and we'll be back shortly. All right, let's take another look here. Oh yeah, that looks pretty good. I think we're mostly melted here. It's really looking like queso now. So I think we'll go ahead and pull this. We'll go ahead and pull this off, and then we're gonna go try it inside after it cools off a little bit. All right, guys, moment of truth. So that took about 50 minutes or so. So just, you know, when you're sitting there and you're making, you know, you're planning your time out, just make sure that you plan plenty of time. We could have gone a little bit longer, gotten a little more smoke on it, but I think this is just about perfect. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dig in. So I just grabbed a chip and I'm gonna go right in here. Let's get a nice big scoop. It's gonna be hot. That's awesome. Awesome. You get the heat from the Hatch, and then you get the flavor of the meat, all that wild hog and that pork that we have in there, and then you get that little bit of creaminess that you got from the cream cheese added in with the Gouda and all the other cheeses. Man, it's just an explosion of flavor in your mouth. It's awesome. And I mean, this is kind of just our own take on it, right? Like we harvested a wild hog and we're putting it in all these different dishes. So it's one of those things where it's like, you know, you get your base and then you go ahead and do whatever you want with it. So this is our take on smoked queso. I hope you go and try it, modify the recipe to your liking, to the things that you like to eat in a queso. And until next time, man, live life to the fullest and enjoy the food you're eating.